Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all my students. Okay, so before this we have learned very basic on client-side scripting language, okay, which is JavaScript. So you have learned about operators, okay, expressions, evaluation, about the mathematical formatting numbers, okay, string, logical structure, repetition, function, and also arrays. Okay, next, okay, we will look at the form, okay, which is we look at the JavaScript event. So where you can have form design, okay, using HTML, then you link to the JavaScript, okay, in terms of the event handlers. Okay, for example, when you want to click the button, okay, what happened? So we will use the JavaScript to do the action. Okay, if you refer to w3schools.com website, so you look at the JS events. Okay, so what is events? So actually things that happen to the HTML elements. So in this case, we want to look at what will happen to the form that you have designed in your HTML. So when you design form in HTML, so there is no basically there is no function for the form, okay, because you just have the interface, okay, so you cannot have the reaction. So when you use JavaScript, for example, so we'll use it to give some reaction to the form, okay, and we call that this is the HTML events. So an HTML event can be something the browser does or something a user code does. So here are some examples. For example, you have the web page has finished loading, okay, and then you have the input field was changed and the button was clicked. That is the example of event. Okay, so how you do that? Okay, for example, okay, we have this one. So this is using the button element. Okay, so what will happen to the button? So basically button, normally you click the button. So we use the event on click, okay, and then what you want to do. Okay, for example, the user click the button, okay, what will happen? So let's say the button is about to tell you the time. So when you click the button, so it will display the current time that you have assigned. Okay, in this case it will call the date function, okay, which is the built-in method. Okay, next. Okay, so we will look on the examples or other event that we have. Okay, for example, in HTML events we have on change, which is the HTML element has been changed. Okay, and then we also have the on click. So normally we use the button. Okay, also you have mouse over. So means that you use your mouse to over to the element without the click. Okay, you just over, it will do some action. Okay, and then you have on mouse out, so which is you away your mouse from that element, so it will have some action. Okay, and then you have the on key down. Okay, so when user push a keyboard button key, so it will have some action. And also we have on load. So normally when you go to the next page, okay, you will have this you will use this event, okay, to do the okay, so actually there is a lot of complete which is you have the JavaScript HTML DOM event. Okay, so this is all the events that we have basically, but in our example, so normally we just use a very basic in terms of the mouse event, okay, which is the we have the on click. Okay, so what can JavaScript do? So event handlers can be used to handle and verify user input, user actions, and browser actions. So as I mentioned last time, so the function of JavaScript in the form, so normally is for the verification or validation. Okay, so we look at the next one. Okay, so now we look at JavaScript forms. Okay, before we go to the example of form and also the HTML, we want to link the HTML form and also the JavaScript. So what we can do using JavaScript in terms of form validation. So for example, is empty, the function will give, if the form field name is empty, so the function will give some alert message and return false. Okay, so this is example where you can have the alert or the validation for the form. Okay, Okay, so this is how they use. And also you can validate the numeric input where user enter non-numeric number. For example, I enter H. Okay, so it is not valid, so you will verify is it number or not. Okay, and also we can use HTML for validation in terms of make sure that it is not empty. So as I mentioned, before we have the HTML5, so we need to use JavaScript in order to do the validation, but we now have the automatic, we call the automatic HTML form validation, where you just use the required attribute. Okay, for example, something like this, you want the user to make sure you want user to key in the name. Okay, so you just put the required here, okay, to make sure the user key in the information in the field. Okay, so data validation. What is data validation class? Actually, the process ensuring the user input is clean, correct, and useful. This is the main objective of the validation. So that's why normally we have the validation together with the form. Okay, because we want the user to key in the input data which is the correct based on what you want to or based what is required by your system. Okay, so this is some of the tasks that we have for the validation. Okay, user field in all required fields. Okay, has user entered valid date, entered the data, valid data type, okay, entered the numeric field. So we need to have this kind of validation because for example, you have the calculation in terms of you want to find the discount, okay, or you want to do a system for the auto teller machine, okay, for example. So you need to have the correct input data. Okay, so validation class can be defined by many different methods and deployed in many different ways. So we can have server-side validation and also client-side validation. So server-side validation performed by web server. Okay, client-side performed by the web browser before you send to the server. So means that when you are online, okay, so you can also have the validation before you submit to the browser, to the server. Okay, we call that client side. Okay, what are the constraints that we have in HTML5? Introduce a new validation form, okay, called constraint validation. Okay, what is constraint? Which is the HTML input attribute, okay, which is we have CSS. This one is not covered, and then DOM properties and method. Okay, so this is all the very advanced level of the HTML attribute. For example, you want user to update their information, so but you don't want they update all the information. For example, you don't want they to update their IC number, so you can disable the input element so they cannot edit that field. Okay, and then also we have the maximum, minimum. Okay, for required is actually for the not empty field. Okay, alright. Okay, now we look at the example of the question. Okay, so before we go to the example of the question, okay, so now we look at the JavaScript example event handler program first. So I will give you this kind of example of the program, okay, simple program. So you can look at how they use the event handler, for example, on click. Okay, for example, this program, okay, you have the script, JavaScript here is function alert. So where we have inform, okay, so actually this one is to you have activated me by clicking the gray button. Okay, so note that the event handler is added within the event that is handled in this case. So the form button event tag. So what happens, you have the event which is on click, okay, and then look carefully on the spelling class and also the uppercase and lowercase, okay, and then they assign to the calling function, okay, invoke function, which is the inform here. So what happened, it will display the alert message. Okay, so the button will display the alert message. So the button value is click me. So you have one button which is a click me, okay, and then it will go to the function inform, and then it will display the alert message. Okay, another one, okay, this is using the radio button. Okay, in the second example here, radio button, okay, where you have the first when you click C1. So what is the function or how is the process of radio button, sorry, where you click either one, right? You choose either one button. So you click document.bg color light blue. Okay, when you click the first button, it will do action. What action? Document.bg color light blue means that it will assign to the different colors. Okay, light blue. Okay, this one will assign to the light yellow. Okay, and then we have another one, which is, okay, actually we have 3 radio button here, so we have light green. Okay, so this is the different 3 action that you can have, so using the event handler on click. So you can practice to do the on click. Actually, it is not only calling function, so you can assign to for example display, okay, alert, and so on. Okay, we look at another example here. Okay, this is where you have the input type equal to text. Okay, you have text field, which is the value in the text field is hello world, the first one, field 1. Okay, field 2 is where you have there is no value, empty. Okay, but okay, you have one caption here, which is click the button to copy the content to field 1 to field 2. Okay, so we are using the button element, okay, not the input type equal to button. Okay, and then the event that we are using is on DB click, on double click, DBL. So double click means that you have your button double click 2 times. Okay, what happened? It will use the get element by ID. Okay, and then it will go to copy. Okay, so we inside assign value. Okay, field 2 to field 1. Okay, because why? Because you want to copy the content field 1. Okay, so that's why you need to assign, okay, field 2 element to the field 1 element. Okay, the next one is using the event on mouse over. Okay, so actually how to use is you need to assign using assignment operator, and then you just call the function, or you just assign to other values. Okay, another one, this one is okay, this one function. Okay, what will happen is, okay, this is on mouse over, and then it will call the mouse over function. So what mouse over function does, which is just okay, src, okay, means that it display the image. Okay, blue GIF. Okay, this one is pink GIF. Okay, and then okay, this is another one. Okay, using the on change event. Okay, so there are lots of different kind of event handlers that we use here. Okay, and then this is example where you have the form validation. Okay, so this form validation is for what? Is to make sure that you key in all the input. Okay, but this one is for HTML5. We don't need to have JavaScript. So if the question asks you to have validation on empty field, so you just use the required attribute. Okay, and then this is to make sure that you are enter the correct email address. Of course, this is also same as you just use the input type equal to email. Okay, to make sure that user key in the correct email address. Okay, so next we look at another example. Okay, where you have your button. Okay, for example, click me, and then it will display hello world. Okay, so this is where you can use function or even driver on click. Okay, and then call the display message function. Okay, so we save as HTML file. Okay, and then we look at what is the output. So okay, as I mentioned, okay, you have the one button, and then click, and it will display the hello world. Okay, so Okay, how you can do that? Okay, so you can have okay, form, okay, which is using the input type equal to button. Okay, so you use input element and then type button, then you have value, click me. Okay, and then you use the event handler, which is the on click, and then we call the function. Okay, display message for example. So what is inside the function is the alert. Okay, and then display the hello world. Okay, next. Okay, so now we look at the very simple example. Okay, where you have your input field here. Okay, these two. Okay, they want to do the calculation, addition, for example. Okay, so we call this, and first you need to design the form where this one is input type equal to text. Okay, and then this one also input type equal to text. Then this is you can have the result. Okay. Okay, so this is something like this. Alright, and then you need to also have the ID class. Okay, before this I am not emphasized on the ID because we don't use the ID, but now you need to have the ID because okay, this one we will use in the JavaScript to access the field. Okay, and then when you input the two numbers, and when we click the result button, it will display the result button. So first we will look how you can add these two numbers. Okay, once you click the result button, it will display the total of two numbers. Okay, so there are many ways to solve this kind of problem. Okay, so first we try to use the JavaScript. Okay, and then how you can use JavaScript. Okay, what are the event handler that you can use? Okay, so for this one, okay, we can use on click. Okay, and then what you need to do is the easiest way is you just call the function. Okay, which is the function of Java function. Okay, where you want to put the Java script function. So I think it is suitable to put it the head. Okay, so how to do that? Okay, function add. Okay, let's say add 2. Okay, what is inside the function? Okay, so we just assign okay, var num1 equal to get. Okay, we use in HTML. Okay, document. Before that we need to access first. Okay, how we retrieve the field here. How we get the value in the first number which is entered by the user. So we use document.get element by id dot value. Okay, so this is how you access. So what is that element by value here, by id here? So which is you want to have the id first number. Okay, before that, okay, I forgot to have the script. Okay, open and close script. So that's why the code have different colors. Okay, and then this is the first one. Okay, the next one is same. So for the number 2, okay, document dot get element by id. Okay, and then it is second number. Okay, dot value. After that, you do the formula. Okay, which is addition equal to addition equal to document dot which is num1 times num add plus num2. Okay, and then return addition. Okay, so if you just return, so it will not save, or it will not display here. So how we need to display at the result is, so okay, we try to use instead of return, so you use the inner HTML document dot get element by ID, okay, which is you want to display in the result. Okay, dot inner HTML. What is in HTML here? You want to display the value, okay, to where? To the result. What is result here? Which is this one. Okay, we try to is it possible to have something like this? Okay, okay, so we try. Okay, but what happened here? Okay, why it is replaced? Okay, so this is not calculate. Okay, it is just display. Okay, so we need to solve this one. Okay, first in order for you to solve the problem of not calculate or not add the numbers, okay, which is you need to convert that string to the integer, so you use a parse int or parse float. Okay, okay, so num1 equal to parse int or parse float here. Okay, then you can use the dot getElement by id and then result dot in html that, and then you add the variable num1 plus num2. Okay, when you on click, okay, it will display the in this one id result. Okay, okay, so I try to enter data. Okay, what happened? It will display 9. Okay, and then it will remove the result because it will display here. Okay, so how we can display it? I want to display the result is 9. Okay, so you need to have, okay, copy here and then put here. Okay, so you can have P, okay, different P paragraph. Okay, also, okay, then save. Okay, then, okay, alright, so no need to have this one, is just remove. Okay, because, okay, we have, okay, change the place. Okay, and then save, refresh. Okay, just key in. Okay, so suppose that you have here. Okay, so this is how you do that. Okay, you can have something like this. Okay, this is one of the solution. Okay, where you use the function. Okay, and then even handler, which is using on click, and then call function add2. What is inside function add2, which is you do the summation. So in order for you to do the summation num1 plus num2, so you need to get the value first from the field. So how to do that? Okay, this is one of the way. You can use the value which is you can use dot getElement by id. Okay, another one you can use form name. Okay, in order to get to access the form name, and then you can access the field of the form name. Okay, okay, and then now, okay, this is example where you do numbers. So now let's say we want to have a division, okay, for from these two numbers also. Okay, but okay, we want to put the result in one field. Okay, which is, okay, for example, I have input, okay, type, okay, equal to text. Okay, okay, and then, okay, I put also the id, okay, answer. Alright, okay, and then this one, let's say this is, okay, answer for the deviation. Okay, so you can also put the label, or you can just put the text. Okay, something like this. Okay, okay, so it will have one text, and then inside that, okay, I don't want to click the button, just want to, when I go to the field, click the field, then it will display the answer. So that one we use the on focus. Okay, so how to do that? Okay, so this is example where I will use not using the getElement by id. Okay, but I use the form name. Okay, using it to access the value using the form name. Okay, okay, so, okay, I want to put here inside input. Right, okay, so I want to use on focus instead of on click. Okay, and then you need to have double quote here. What is inside here is actually the for example, I use this one using form, but if we want to have to access the id and using in HTML also can. Okay, but this one I just use the form name. Okay, document dot form name, okay, add form, okay, this one, and then dot, okay, what is ID that you want to access, okay, this one, okay, so first number divided by second number, okay, dot value, okay, divide by, alright, okay, before that, so actually you need to have the full formula, okay, which is answer equal to first num divided by second num, okay. So the first one is actually where you want to put the result is inside the answer, so this one the answer will be very long, okay, document dot add form, okay, dot, okay, which is I want to access here, okay, answer, I want to display in the answer ID dot value, so equal to, okay, so I want to put in here, and then what is the result, so this divided by this, okay, document dot equal to document dot add form dot first number dot value divided by, okay, document dot add form dot which is second, okay, number, okay, second number dot value, okay, alright. Okay, and then save. Okay, so when you click here, it will display the result supposedly, okay, 4 divided by 2, okay, 2, okay, and then let's say 4 divided by 4 is 1, okay, this is how you do just using the on focus, okay, means that you don't have the click button, okay, but let's say I want to have result, okay, this is the result for the addition, okay, I add the result for addition is, okay, so we have the same number but different values, right, okay, 5 divided by 5, okay, supposing 1, okay, and then but the result is 10 because you add, right, okay, so this is I think a very basic example, okay, but yet this is a very I think complete, okay, where you can have in terms of how to assess, okay, your input, okay, form from HTML, okay, using the JavaScript, okay, or you can also use the this one is using ID, calendar ID, and in HTML, but this one is using the form, just a form name, okay, access using the form, okay, ID and also the value, okay, so be careful in terms of the syntax because JavaScript, as I mentioned, this one this is okay, this one is actually we embed JavaScript into the HTML, okay, so you need to have double quote and then put inside the on focus event, okay, so I will give you the code, okay, for your reference. So I think that's all for the form, JavaScript form, okay, I will show you another example next time, okay. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.